So I only started 12 months ago. I've got currently 500 customers on my flagship program, and the headline is I basically more than doubled my running revenue, my best month, as a result of the program that the funnel that I put together. It's pretty much doubled what I earned in the last best month.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name's John Ainsworth. Today's guest is Mark Taylor. Now, Mark is a head trainer and director at Acer Gun Dog Training, and they specialize in teaching dog owners how to train their gun dogs using ethical, science-based techniques. Now, Mark's been working with my team to grow his business. He's been in the Instant Course Sales program. And in today's episode, we're going to explore the key changes that Mark's made to his funnel and his marketing strategy, the challenges he overcame, and the impressive results that he has achieved since we started working together. Mark, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, John.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. What kind of results have you gotten since you've been in the Instant Course Sales program?
So I joined the program maybe 3 months ago and put together a promotion. The best month was my last month, which ended in the Black Friday sale. And the headline is I basically more than doubled my running revenue, my best month. So it's been going up, and I'm fairly new to the business, online course business. I've been escalating my income each month, and the last month, as a result of the program, the funnel that I put together, it's pretty much doubled what I earned in the last best month.
Wow. Double. Okay, so talk us through, what did you do? How did you manage to get that incredible result?
So lots of different aspects to the approach. I've always had an online course program, so I've always had an offer, and basically what I've done is refine the offer and create additional products to go with it. So I've got a Tripwire when people opt into my funnel, order bumps and upsells through the funnel, and then I wrote a specific email promotion with the instant course sales to go with it. So there was a sequence of emails that went out prior to Black Friday, as like a specific promotion, a warm-up promotion, and then the actual sales promotion, and the results were as I spoke about. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. So we had their order bumps, Tripwire funnel, and the email promotion. Is there any other changes, or was that everything?
Well, there was the refinement of the sales page, in terms of how that looked. Literally, the whole funnel was worked upon in the run-up to this Black Friday promo.
Nice. Nice. Well, that's beautiful. I like hearing numbers like that. So talk us through, what was the kind of the process like for that? What was some of the struggles you had along the way, and what was any of the support that you got from the team to allow you to do that?
Yeah, sure. So it kind of started with email writing. That's not my specialty. I'm a dog trainer, and never did I think that when I became a dog trainer I'd have to learn how to write emails. So with the program, there's like a structure to how to write each email. There's a specific email that lands at a specific time, and there's a structure to how to write it, kind of like a framework that you can apply to really any business and with your target customer.
Yeah. So what was the stuff that you found difficult with that? What was hard about? Obviously, you mentioned you're a dog trainer. You weren't an email writer. So what was the specifics of what was difficult about it for you?
Just the amount of time it takes me to write copy. I'm not a natural copywriter. So the program kind of focused my mind into creating emails that covered very specific things to hit different customers or to appeal to different customers. So like you've got analytical types, you've got people that have got problems that you address, using the customer language that real customers would use.
Yeah. So what was it that allowed you, since it was difficult for you and that wasn't something that you were kind of used to, you had the framework, great. What else allowed you to be able to actually put all of that together? Was it because I know you did the workshops with the team, and you mentioned to me before that was quite an intense experience.
Yeah, so the workshops were 2 days, several hours of literally sitting writing emails with the team, with a load of other students as well. So we'd cover specific things like in a Zoom call, and then we'd be given time on the call to sit and write the email within this framework that I'm talking about. And what would normally take me, with procrastination, maybe a month to write these emails, we got them out in 2 days. And then Monica on the team literally went through each email, edited it, or rewrote the bits that were doubling, saying the same thing twice, and rereading the email, it just read so much better than when I'd created it.
Nice. Okay. So you had workshops where you went through the frameworks that you got from the team. Then you got feedback on it and kind of rewriting of some of the parts of the emails from Monica as well. Nice. Okay, cool. How about with the sales page? What was the process like for rewriting that?
So I had a sales page, video sales letter sales page. So I had all that already. And with Dominic's help, he went through and said, if you put the video there so it's above the fold, you put a H1 header there next to it so people read that, and then the subtext underneath it, and then a buy now button right next to it. It's all above the fold, and then below the fold, this is what you should put. Where there was copy that was just too wordy, as I had before, we edited that, made it easier to read. People on a Black Friday offer don't necessarily want to sit and read paragraphs and paragraphs of text. So you kind of made it a lot leaner, put value stacks in it where it needed value stacks, buttons at the bottom of the page for people to buy. So basically not redesigned but reordered the sales page, and it seemed to work. So the conversion went up massively for Black Friday. So
nice. Yeah, and if anybody listening is thinking, I want to know how to change my sales page, we've got other episodes where we've specifically gone through the 15 elements of a high converting sales page and exactly what it is that you need to do. But some of the stuff that Mark's talked you through there is you want to have your video above the fold, you want to have the call to action button above the fold, and ideally that would be above the fold on desktop and on mobile, because a lot of people are buying on mobile too. As people start to spend a bit more money, they tend to move more over to a computer than phone, but a lot of people will look at it on the phone. We want to have the main headline, the sub headlines throughout to kind of get people's attention back if they're skimming through and just trying to find out where they are. We want to have all these different sections, the value stack that Mark mentioned as well. So these are all the different parts that we need to have within a good sales page. So let's talk briefly about the order bump. For anybody who doesn't know what an order bump is, can you explain to them how that looks and then what you put into place for it?
Sure. So an order bump sits on the checkout page. It's kind of like it's designed to attract the customers when they're in buying mode. So they've decided that they're going to buy. And with mine, it's an opt-in, so they have to tick the box to select the order bump. With some software, you can have it pre-selected, but with mine, I feel more comfortable on not having to deal with refunds that people bought it accidentally, that you have to deliberately opt in by ticking a box. The order bump itself, it's like a mini course, so it's like it complements my main offer. My order bump is to start a course for new gun dog handlers. Okay, so it's the kind of thing that people would find useful if they're new to the sport, but wouldn't detract from the main course itself.
Gotcha. Okay. So you had an additional offer, which was this extra course that you added as your order bump. Did you have an upsell as well?
I do on my program, my flagship program is all my courses combined, a bundle of all my courses with coaching. Option 2 is that you can just buy my entry level course. So if someone buys my entry level course, they can buy course number 2 as well as an order bump. But with my flagship course, it is the solution that solves all their problems. So I haven't got an upsell on that because it is the ultimate, as it's called, the Ultimate Gun Dog programs.
Gotcha. Okay, and then what was the process like? Because you had to, you worked obviously with the team, and you're going through. You got the Q&A every week as well now. Could you talk anybody who's listening who's like, maybe this might be right for me, I'm not quite sure. Could you talk them through like what is the process like when you go on those calls? What's useful about it? How is that helping you to continue to grow your business week after week?
Sure. So the calls there's two different types of calls. There's a weekly group call. It's like an office hours type call. So with other course creators, various members of the team on different weeks. It's an hour's call, and we just go around the table and basically ask everyone how they're getting on, if they've got specific questions. So depending on whether there's a particular time of year, like a promo running, we'll focus on that. But everyone's got the opportunity to ask specific questions within the office hours call. There's also like a monthly one-to-one call with Josip hosting, where that's very much about my business, what we're going to work on, what we're going to try, kind of split testing different options for the month coming forward. It's more strategy. It's more specific to my business. So that's once a month, whereas the group calls are once a week. Behind all of that is the online course with all the videos. So that's really helpful. That's kind of like a framework, self-paced. We can pick out bits that we want to work on in any order that we want to work on it.
Nice. And can you give people some idea of the size of your business, like revenue, number of students, team size, whatever you're kind of comfortable with?
Sure. So my business, just to explain, is twofold. It's a bricks and mortar business. The online part of that has grown out of the bricks and mortar business. So I film videos of my program and decided to scale my dog training business by having an online course program to go with it. So people around the world can just buy the online course videos, but people locally can also come to physical classes and train their dogs with us. So it's twofold. So just segmenting out, to answer your question about size of the business, just segmenting out the online course side of it. So I only started 12 months ago. I've got currently 500 customers on my flagship program working with their dogs. Revenue, it started a year ago with maybe £1,000 a month. It was small turnover. I wasn't really taking it seriously, but since summertime last year, and we've started bringing in 5-figure incomes each month quite regularly now. So it's really starting to take off.
That's great, man. That's great progress within a year. And what made you decide to ask for help with upgrading your funnel? Why was that something you thought was the right thing to do?
It's a really good question. So the reality is I was building stuff myself, which took blooming ages, quite honestly. And I didn't really know what I was doing. So I designed a sales page. I looked at other people's sales page. I designed a sales page. But everything I was doing myself was taking like 3 times as long as now I realise. I just wished I'd joined sooner to get the help and support and just get straight to the point where it works. So that I was building it myself and just faffing around and not getting anywhere very quickly. So
yeah, that makes total sense. I found that everywhere that I've improved the fastest has been because I got feedback and help from somebody who had done it 20 times before, knew how to do it, knows exactly how it works, has done all the kind of the painful learning for me. And that's why we set up the instant course sales program. It's like, okay, there's a lot of people who are doing reasonably well, but they've got the potential to do incredibly well. Like you, double your revenue, and I expect the potential is probably more than that as well. And there just isn't a ton of information specifically for course creators out there about how to do this kind of thing. And so it's like, okay, well, you need to know, okay, how are you going to set up your sales page? How do you write your email promotions? What goes into each email promotion? How do you set up your upsells, your order bumps, your whole funnel, the whole process? And so I'm really proud of the team and everything that we've got in place there. It seems like it's
really worked
a lot.
I was always a big fan of your podcast, and so it's like I describe it as like I've got jigsaw pieces of the puzzle from the podcast. I listened to so many of them, but they didn't quite fit together. Yeah, so by doing the course with the people that behind the podcast, it allowed me to put all the jigsaw pieces together and optimize everything so that it really worked. Just basically get from A to B much quicker.
Absolutely. Now, one other thing that you mentioned in there that you've got in place was a Tripwire funnel. Can you explain, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, could you explain what a Tripwire funnel is, and then what you've actually set up as your Tripwire?
For sure. So a Tripwire offer is designed to attract people when they first opt in. Okay, so I attract people through social media and ask them to leave their email address in order to get my lead magnet, which is a free course. At the point that they've given me their email address, I have a ManyChat bot which talks to them, gathers their email address, and then as the final step says, here's another course that you might find really useful in helping you. And it's one of the entire modules out of my entry-level course for just under $10, £10. And it's designed to get people, attract the people that are ready to buy. With that comes an order bump, and with that comes an upsell as well. But it's converting at 6%. So even if they don't buy the full offer yet, I've got their email address, and I'm able to segment the people that have kind of put their hand up and said, I'm really interested in this.
Nice. So 6% of people who opt in for your lead magnet then buy your Tripwire offer behind that. Cool. And would you be happy to share about how much money that makes?
So with my Black Friday promo, so it's only a £10 product, But with my Black Friday promo, we made 43 sales, so that's £430. But that's £430 in 1 month is money I would have just left on the table
Yeah.
previously. So I'd have got their email address and then maybe put them in, would have put them into a funnel, and they maybe would have bought my course at the end of it, but maybe not. So it's money that's, and this is every month. So this is money that's otherwise left on the table.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So what's your main traffic source for the business? You mentioned social media. What is the main one that you're using?
So if you'd asked me 6 weeks ago, I'd have said Instagram. That's been my main traffic source, but Facebook seemed to have found me. So it's short form content on Facebook and Instagram, and I just cross post the same content to both channels at the same time.
And you've been doing that for a year as well, or has that been longer building that?
No, seriously, for a year. So in terms of like adding value, I'd always post before, but not seriously. So it would just be when I felt like it. But seriously, really since the summer, I've been creating content with a deliberate purpose of attracting emails.
Nice. And what size audience have you got on either of those platforms?
40,000 on Instagram and 25,000 on Facebook.
Nice. Okay. And what kind of size email list have you been able to build off of that?
So I'm growing the email list between 800 and 1,000 new emails a month. And it's currently sitting at about 5,000. I'm quite aggressive with how I, what's the word? Filter my emails for people that are engaged and people that are not. And I think the thing is when you offer a lead magnet, a free lead magnet in exchange for an email address, you're going to get some dodgy email addresses in there. So if people haven't opened an email in 90 days, they're sent a series of emails that basically says, "Are you still alive? You must click here in order to stay on the list." I think one of them does literally say that kind of thing. And then it's an automation, they're automatically unsubscribed if they don't, it's kind of like a last resuscitation attempt to keep them. So my list is pretty clean and it's people that are pretty engaged. But yeah, 5,000 is what it's sitting at, just over 5,000 at the moment.
Nice. Okay, cool. And what kind of content's working for you on Instagram or Facebook? You mentioned shorts.
So it's all shorts, yeah. So it's mostly reels, so video content. And most of my audience are dog owners who want help training their dog. So a lot of my reels are either educational, it's like little snippets of how I train dogs. A lot of them are kind of like funny or engaging, or they're kind of nurture content where it'll be the things that happen as a dog owner, the annoying side of like other dog owners, things like that, trying to tap into that. So they associate me as somebody that understands the real life problems. But yeah, I try and post once a day. That's my goal at the moment. I've gone from trying to do everything, and this is the trouble with an online business, is not only you trying to get the leads to go in the funnel, and you're trying to nurture them when they're in the funnel. That's what we're doing here. But you're also trying to look after them on the other side of the funnel when they're in the program. And it's a balancing act of kind of like all three things.
Yeah.
So recently I've hired a video editor, it's freelancer, who edits my videos, and as of last week I've also hired a content manager who will now kind of help me with the creation of ideas. So all I need to do is turn up with my script and start filming it, and then pass the video, put it on a cloud and pass the video across to her to then handle the production side of it.
And what do you think with that? Do you think that you're going to get better scripts and videos from that, or is it just about taking that amount of work off your plate and maybe it'll only be 80% as good? What's your kind of instinct on that? Because I find that one fascinating. Like, I've spent a while with somebody else writing scripts for me, and I never felt like we really hit the nail on the head, and so I'm going back to writing them for myself, but I don't see myself doing that forever. So I'm curious, what's your kind of I know you haven't done it yet, right? But what's your take on? What's your expectation?
Well, she's flying with it already. We've already got 50 ideas in the pipeline.
Okay.
So the goal is to get to the point where I've got maybe a month of content ready to go live, and then she's just scheduling it when it goes live. Okay, so that's the ultimate goal. I recruited very carefully. I held back on this role for a long while, but I know her really well. She's worked for me. She's delivered the program herself as a trainer in my physical business for she delivered hundreds and hundreds of courses. So she's worked for me before. She took a career break in order to have a child. And now this role is ideal because she doesn't have to physically do it at a particular time. It's kind of freelance. She can do it as and when it suits her. Her timings are her own kind of thing. As long as she brings the content uploaded every week, it doesn't matter when she does it. So she knows my business inside out. She knows my customers. She's delivered my program to real customers hundreds of times. So it's working out pretty well so far.
Nice. Okay, cool. So is the content from her going live already, or is it kind of in the pipeline?
It's in the pipeline. I'm literally filming as today is one of the videos. It's in production. So early days.
Beautiful. Okay, well I look forward to hearing how that goes. I've got a lot of YouTuber friends, as you might imagine, in the kind of the course space, and it's been really interesting seeing the slightly different ways that people are kind of approaching the content creation space. What made you decide to go with Instagram and Facebook as the places for you? Like, why not YouTube Shorts or TikToks or anything else like that?
Sure. So TikTok, I am on TikTok. I've stopped posting on TikTok. I've just found it a very different audience. They're kind of there, I think, for entertainment purposes. So they scroll. They're not there for educational purposes as much. I've also found it really difficult to convert a TikTok to acquiring an email address. You can't use ManyChat, so you have to use a link in bio. And I've just found the conversion has been really poor. The other thing with TikTok is because of what I do, it's got the word gun. I'm a gun dog trainer. So TikTok just randomly block my videos or put covers over the front saying this is sensitive content. And it's just a cute puppy. So I just got fed up with appealing and waiting weeks for some kind of outcome. So I came off TikTok altogether.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Okay.
But my goal is to get into long form. So now I've got my video editor. Is my goal. So the tail, in terms of like the leads that you'll get from long form, I hear is the tail is much longer. Whereas on short form, it's like pedaling a bike. I can post a reel today and maybe get 100 new email addresses literally today, and then that'll taper off. But by next week, that reel has just stopped. Sometimes Instagram's algorithm will find it again and suddenly they come back to life, which is quite weird because you start getting notifications from people that are commenting on reels that you posted 3 months ago. But it's completely random, it's a lot more fickle on short form content, I find. So
Gotcha. Yeah, TikTok's a really interesting one. So most people I know who have tried TikTok have found, even if they've got a massive audience there, that they get basically no sales from it. And so I was very much of the opinion for quite a long time that TikTok is just not useful for selling courses. And then my friend Jack, who is teaching banjo, said he started putting his content on TikTok as well as YouTube Shorts, and he gets more sales from there within a month than he does from on YouTube Shorts. And YouTube Shorts does better for him than long form generally, or at least as well as it, and it takes him less time to make it. So he's like, great, I'm going to double down on TikTok and do a lot more stuff on here. And so that's really made me think, okay, that it's not maybe as simple as it works or it doesn't work. It might be niche specific. Why it would work for banjo in particular, I don't know. So we'll kind of wait and see if this like bears out. Is this like being a temporary blip where it's worked well and then it won't do so much in 2 months or what, but
the other thing I find on TikTok is that the audience are less warm. It's less of a community. You can't have a conversation with people, or people aren't inclined to have a conversation. So whereas on the other channels, Facebook and Instagram, people will ask questions. You can engage with people. People will send you DMs, whereas I just don't find that so much on TikTok.
No, well, and on YouTube, you just don't have it at all, right? Sure. There is no option for it. I find that a fascinating difference. So I've started doing a lot more content on LinkedIn recently. And it's just such a difference because you can message with people. And I'm just like, from YouTube, I'm used to like, okay, I have to get someone to give their email address, get on our email list, and then we can have a conversation after that, So yeah, very different kind of vibe. Nice. Anything else that you'd like to share in terms of lessons that you've learned from the process of going through the Instant Course Sales program, what you've started doing that you think might be useful to the listener?
Yeah, sure. So when I started the ICS, the first module is about understanding your avatar, understanding the customer at the other end, which is not a process I've really, anecdotally I've done it, but not really kind of specifically done it. I've not really got so much information as I did through this. So there is the first module is about understanding your customer and then using their language in the copy. So when I get somebody opt in, once they've gone through my process, they're asked two specific questions. They're asked what their number one wish is in terms of their dream outcome, and they're asked why they haven't achieved it already. What's been the biggest barrier? So I've been doing this for a year, and I've got 2,500 pieces of data where customers have left their wish list and their barriers in their words. So what I did was I fed that into ChatGPT to analyze it. And ChatGPT has helped me come up with my avatars. So I've got different avatars, different types of customers, using their specific words. So I use ChatGPT quite extensively to help me come up with ideas for things like short form content, for things to put in emails, that kind of stuff, but based on that data. So the exercise attracting your avatar and understanding your avatar was a massive learn for me.
I was just looking up to see what podcast episode I should be pointing people to learn about their customer avatar. And I found out that we don't have one. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. We need to record an episode about customer avatar. I don't think we've got anything on the resources page either. So I will record that one. So dear listener, I promise you there will be an episode about customer avatar at some point and you'll be able to learn more about that. Obviously, if you sign up to the Instant Course Sales program, that is the first thing that we'll do with you. But if not, then I want to make sure you know kind of what that is and how that works. One thing that did come up when I was going through the podcast trying to find that episode was the episode with Lucy, who, could you tell everybody what the strange coincidence is about us kind of connecting?
So randomly, shout out to Lucy and Will, and of course their dog Diego. Randomly, but small world, isn't it? I understand Lucy has also gone through your program in the past, but I trained Lucy and her dog Diego in my business as a dog trainer several years ago, while she lived locally. So literally from the next village at the time. So yeah, small world online course business, which is global, and then the small world of course creators actually coming from two villages apart.
Yeah. It's incredible. I couldn't really get my head around it when you first told me that you knew Lucy. I was like, oh, that's why you got in touch. And you were like, no.
Not at all.
And it's like, oh, you know her through the online course world. No, I trained her dog. It's like, how'd that happen? So if anybody wants to listen, so Lucy and Will, Lucy runs English with Lucy YouTube channel, and the two of them run their course business together. Been incredibly successful in their course business. If you want to hear that episode, it's from July 26th, 2023. It's episode 98. And Lucy kind of goes through how she got started with her YouTube channel and then has built this up to a multiple seven-figure business over time. If people want to go and want to go and see your business and want to go and how are you doing it? What have you got in place? Try and make sense of it that way. Where can they go? Or if they're interested in getting their dog trained, then where can they go?
That's the interesting one. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, same handle, at Acer Gundogs, all one word, ACER Gundogs, GUNDOGS. Website is www.acerdogs.com.
Perfect. And if you want more help with this and you want help with using email promotions and funnels to get results like Mark, then book a call with me or someone from my team by going to datadrivenmarketing.co/call, CALL, or clicking the link in the show notes, the description, or the pinned comment below. We've helped dozens of people more than double their revenue and 7 people to reach 7 figures a year now through this process. So book a call using the link in the show notes. Thank you as always so much for listening. And Mark, thanks so much for coming on.
Good to be here.